have a Swiss film called Alpine Fire. It's from 1985 by Freddie Murer. I saw this film on the plane because for a while I was traveling a lot on Swiss Air, and they have this channel with Swiss films. So I saw this. It's actually a very beautiful film. It's sort of strange. It has some themes of incest, and I don't know if it's some coded way to speak about some kind of Swiss endogamy but in any case, it's about a family that's living in a remote farm in the Swiss Alps and living an extremely secluded existence. Their two children are kept away from society. They're working on the farm. They don't even go to school. And one of the main characters, the boy, he's deaf. So ultimately, they end up, they just sleep together. They end up killing the parents. But the soundtrack, or the film score, is really beautiful. It's composed by Mario Beretta, and it has a theme that appears, it wavers in and out throughout the film in different moments. But it also has a lot of atmospheric noise and sounds of what I think one would typically think of as the Swiss mountains. There's just sounds of streams, sounds of cowbells. I mean, even things that are very stereotypical, and just like sounds of footsteps on grass and snow. And from what I read, they used some of these sounds and then they filtered some of them electronically. There's also acoustic compositions with winds. And I also read on this website that has a lot of film, music from Swiss films, that this composer was saying that they wanted to make a sound of what they imagined the sound of the mountains would make. And also there's some relationship with this character that's deaf. So it's like very rich in sound and ambient sound. And I mean, the images are also extremely beautiful, but the ambient sound is very important, I think, in this film. So yeah.
Bueno, pues we going to listen Alpine Fire from 1985, composed by Mario Beretta. Greg, now during we listen this, take out the notification of the computer because all your fans writing you and it's sounding through the radio. I hope it's one donation. Imagine if all the time that ring this bell is one donation.
Oh,
Give me something.
Yes.
Bueno, during we're going to listen Alpine Fire from 1985.
Yes.
I would like leaving a very short silence from this soundtrack of Alpine Fire. That it was the server more silent after the background, no, before the background, because I was immersed completely in the viewedness of the track here in the studio. Very, very nice selection as always,
Thank
and
you.
very focused. I was reading something, some curious things of the film that after I will present, and I was very, very relaxed. And I hope that you in your home as well. I don't know if I speak from the time I changed this microphone. It was one mistake, because as I am the technician of the program, in the same time that I do the program, pues, and it's a dynamic microphone, pues in the moment that I going to touch a channel, I separate the mouth from the microphone, and you listen me different all the time. 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 Gregoire, what you have for us
Cronenberg again.
in this life? One Cronenberg. Finally, is your favorite director, Greg, in this life.
But I put in the first program one Cronenberg. It was Crash.
I remember. I was there.
But you were there, yes. Yeah, another Cronenberg. I feel after 30 or 40 programs, I will put all the Cronenbergs. Everything is good from him. This one is very nice. Probably some people saw this movie from 81 called Scanners. It's very nice. One scene of this movie is particularly famous because of the head explosion. So everybody knows that. But the film is really, really strong. It's a Canadian movie. Sometimes Cronenberg writes together with American people, but here it's one of the earliest, so it's only Canadian, because Cronenberg is Canadian, as you should know, all of you.
Wow. I thought he was American.
And not, he is Canadian,
Ah.
and yeah,
I
it's
thought
always
it was American.
Yes,
Yeah, he's very American.
so he is from Canada.
Okay.
And yes, he, as in most of his movies, there is something about the body. Sometimes it's very obvious, sometimes it's more hidden. In this movie, there is a flesh theme, this idea of manipulation of the body of others through telekinesis and telepathy. So yeah, in this movie, the Consec Society, it's the name of the society, they try to gather some scanners, and scanners are the people who are mediums, like they can read into the minds, and they have superpowers. And so they hire one guy called Cameron Val, and he's a young medium, and he has to detect where are the other mediums. It's a bit something like a little bit like Blade Runner, but in gore version. And yeah, a bit like in Videodrome, the hero goes and discovers the very obscure areas of the universe he has to be in. Super nice film, very dark. The music is very dark as well, and very epic too. The intro is super beautiful, and then you will see that the theme is coming back. As in many films of Cronenberg, the composer of the soundtrack is called Howard Shore. Howard Shore was doing the music for a lot of movies, not only this, but like a lot of things, like for example, the Lord of the Rings, for example, afterwards. So yeah, super nice scanners. If some people didn't see the movie, I really recommend it. Uh, it's and the music is driving you in the movie like I never saw before. It's fantastic.
I think I saw this film with you in Switzerland.
Yeah, I
See,
I think
on
we watched the Langoliers.
in Switzerland. Ah, this that the people is in a plane, no?
Yes,
Ah, then see, I mistake. But I think Scanner I saw with you. I suspect.
maybe
Not in
yes,
Switzerland, but somewhere.
maybe in Berlin. Yes.
Well, we go with Scanner 1981. The composer is Howard Shore.
Sure.
this was Scanners from Gregoire
Yes.
as well. Very good selection. I was trying to switch on one cigarette, but the tobacco was so dry that it was falling everything in the mixer. It's between the channels now. All the tobacco.
Oy.
What a
So
pro-
yeah, you can imagine Howard Shore is very
intense.
very good composer because he did all Cronenberg movies, but he did Big with Tom Hanks. He did The Lord of the Rings, as I said, who has nothing to do with darkness. He did what's the name of it? The Silence of the Lamb, quite dark, but not the same director. Yeah, he's a bit everywhere. He did also Dogma about these geeks having a video game shop. So yeah, super polyvalent composer, and as well not using always electronic device. In this one, it's very relevant that he's using a lot of synth plus the chords. So I like the mixture a lot.
Pues very good, Greg. We're going with the next movie that I prepare. Today we are quite fast, no? There are days that we keep speaking, and finally the programs are 2 hours. But today I think we're going to be on time. Or bueno, what is in time?
Yes.
What is it? What is in time? I don't understand if this program is 2 hours, 1 hour and a half, 1 hour. How long should it be? Sometimes
1 hour, sometimes 3 hours.
Pues you are right, Greg. Today I detect that going to be 1 hour 20 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
We're going with the next one, that is a sweet movie by the Serbian Dusan Makabiek, and his special soundtrack, but one of the greatest making soundtrack from Greece, that is Manos Hadiyakis. I was putting in the program of countries in the Greek special Greek and special Greece. I was putting already Manos Hadiyakis. He have millions of soundtracks and incredible music to explore. Sweet movie, it was not a dark movie, but it was very controversial, very strong. In fact, it's forbidden in many countries, and it's a fiction history of surrealism mixed with the commune of Otomuel. Otomuel was not so famous, but famous in the underground. It was, I don't know, because sometimes I was speaking and not all people know, but you can see one very good documental that is called The Sex Champion. For sure, before, years ago, I remember that you could find even in YouTube, but nowadays with all this censor, pues I don't know if you can find it there. Otomul did have a commune of 600 members in Vienna, where they was calling like a psychological exercise that precisely for all his invention of psychology in a very brutal way, a little bit like Herman Nietzsche, but even going more crazy. He was 7 years in prison. They basically every night was members with different members sleeping together, but without the option to sleep during 3 days with one of the members, because it was forbidden to get in love. they was making an exercise as be completely act like a Down syndrome or retarded, because making this exercise they didn't have limits in do nothing. If we play to be Down syndrome, pues everything is allowed. You can touch, you can fight, and you need to be all the time in this role. So imagine what was happening. They was doing cabaret performance, and they was very intellectual people. In fact, in a moment of the when the communist was in danger, some of them was directly go to the town and work in big corporation. All these intellectual people, they have power. In few time they was getting other time a lot of money. And Automobile die already. They make this film, which is already strong, and the image that you can see, with very artistic, of course, very good recording, very good made it. Sweet Movie is a great film. Great film. Have a lot of readings, of course, and if you see in the dimension of the artistic piece, is incredible. Of course, there are some things that maybe is strong for you. I don't know. Never. Few times I feel that the cinema can be strong for me. Nothing is so eschatologic to be afraid, or still didn't happen. In fact, maybe even the first film I was presenting there to the scheme is more crazy, maybe. I don't know. I think I lost this. Anyway, the soundtrack is, I Remember You, is Manos Hadjiakis, and the soundtrack is completely beautiful. We're going to listen.
El amor y
When I say Serbian, but Dusan Makiavek is Yugoslavian. I don't know why I say this. I recommend this film very much. You need to show with subtitles in your language because the film combine different languages in the film. They speak in English, French, Italian, Polish, Spanish. The film, it was co-production of film was from companies from France, Canada, and West Germany. Mixture the surrealism, the comedy, the drama, avant-garde, and politics in the same film as topic, mixture with some scenes a little bit for some people disturbing and from other even beautiful in a artistic way. Of course, you need to be ready and understand that, of course, it was forbidden in many countries, the film.
Yeah, very nice soundtrack.
Yeah.
See, very, very beautiful. I always collect everything from Manos Hadjiakis. Sorry, Greece people, if I pronounce very bad Hadjiakis. Probably yes.
I wonder if Lars von Trier was influenced and inspired by this movie to do The Idiots.
Yes, this is. Did I say in the beginning or I don't tell this history?
You didn't say anything about
Sí,
it.
bueno, pues I wanted to say exactly like Lars von Trier was inspired by the commune of Otomuel to do The Idiots. Exactly. In one moment
Yes.
I was starting with the history and then my head going.
Yeah.
Sorry. Sí, pues exactly, Greg, you get it. I don't know what is the translation in your country. Los Idiotas or the Idioterne. I think the original is Idioterne. Is inspired by the concept of Otomul, where making the idiot, pues you don't have limits, and you can do whatever.
It's the Vienna's Actionist, no?
Yes, exactly. I recommend as well to see this documental. It's very brutal, the documental, in a psychology form, to see it. The Sex Champion, from Otto Mull, from the Vienna Commune. Everything right.
Nice. Yes. Yeah, good choice again. Very nice, Oscar. Now, we are going to be a bit more moral, because I will introduce the music of a documentary about... Come on.
Donation.
No, but it's Lille.
Let
L-Y-L.
let the people think that it's a donation. It's 3 euros. 3 euros. Thank you so much. The people did like so much the soundtrack that we get 3 euros.
Yes, nice. So we can go to Maldives.
I will see. It's for the ticket tomorrow in the U-Bahn.
It's what? It's 370 now in the U-Bahn in Berlin for one ticket.
Well, in Berlin, it's very brutal that with the situation that we have that we are immersed right now, the government dared to put even more expensive the ticket. Pero bueno.
Yeah. In Switzerland, it's 370.
Pues mira,
even if you go 3 stops.
It's almost like here already.
They froze in Switzerland because people were saying it's too much. So now in Berlin they can go on. Yeah. Okay, so I go back with my documentary. A documentary about animals, but it's not an animal documentary. It's very savage. It's like hunters and I don't know, abattoirs and stuff like that.
Abattoir?
Yes, how they kill the cows and stuff. You know, like in a chain, in a factory.
Yep.
And yes,
I think I know.
What is an abattoir?
Abattoir is the machine, like the
Abattoir, the film with these blue people very tall.
Abattoir, yeah, I thought of
Abattoir. With some,
no, but the
friends.
funniest is that there is a movie called Abattoir 5, and I think it's a sci-fi movie, so I need to find, maybe the soundtrack is good. No, it's not Avatar.
No, Slaughterhouse.
No, Abattoir.
Slaughterhouse 5 is okay.
And yes, maybe the slaughterhouse is like where they kill the cows in a chain or the pigs in a chain, like yes. Anyway, yeah, it's a sensibilizations movie made in 1981, and the directors are Victor Schoenfeld, like Schönefeld Airport, and Miriam Allo.
Allo.
Yes, Allo. Yeah.
Well,
Allo.
German. Both surnames German.
No, but Allo is A-L-A-U-X, like Fio, with A-U-X, yeah, and so she must be French or Swiss, but I think she's French. Anyway, yeah, so it's a survey on the like how they use animal in factory farming as pets for entertainment or in scientific experiences, in military research, how they hunt them, etc. And it profiles the international animal rights movement. The film incorporates secret government footage, cartoons, newsreels. What's the newsreel? Okay, and excerpt from the propaganda films. Yes, I didn't see that movie, but for once, because in general I catch the movie first, but this time I wanted to see if one of my favorite artists, composer, made the film, when the music for the film, and indeed he did. The guy is Robert Wyatt. Everybody knows him, and if you know all the albums of Robert Wyatt, you know that he's a very super strong songwriter, super nice, with a lot of strange melodies, but a very folk in general for most of the albums. Yeah, I don't want to make a big expose of Robert Wyatt because you all know him, but I was quite surprised because I didn't know this soundtrack. It's very nice. It's incorporating a lot of electronic music inside. I must see the movie because trying to imagine a documentary about animals with this soundtrack, I can't even believe it. So yeah, everything is possible. Robert Wyatt was hired to do the movie, contacted to do the movie, and I think he did a great job. Although I don't know, because maybe the movie and the music don't fit together, but I hope it does, because the music itself is super nice. This is one track. It looks like it's a bit like Scanners. I wanted to say that the movie I put before, there were only 2 tracks that I joined together, but it sounds like it's more, but it's not more. And in this one, it sounds like it's 2 or 3 tracks, but it's only one thing. It's very beautiful. So we go with only one long track of this, almost exclusively instrumental, which is strange because Robert Wyatt is a very great singer, but you will hear his voice at the end. And yeah, for the people who already saw the movie, I'm sorry, because if I saw the movie before, I would be more effective in the description. But the music keeps on being super good, so I wanted to show it.
Pues sí, pues I recommend as well this movie. Something will change on you in the form to see how they treat these animals. Of course, you know, these places are brutal.
Yeah, I add something. I read in internet that Elvis Costello saw the movie long time ago when it was released, and that made him quitting eating meat.
Even,
He quit.
even divorce.
Divorce. Now he stopped eating
Get completely
meat.
crazy and going to Papete Island. Bueno, pues we going with this documental, The Animals 1982, composed from Robert Wyatt.